KFJC is proud to co-sponsor interviews and live performances at the DNA Lounge, November 14th through 17th. Listen to live performances streamed on the radio and the internet of Olivia Jarbo, Scott Kelly, Steve Von Till, Neurosis, the 13-year return of Savage Republic, the return of Steel Pole Bathtub, the Lotus Eaters, Tarantula Hawk, Robert Rich, Electronic Audio Research, Stars of the Lid, and Tribes of Nerote. Come out into the light of Beyond the Pale 2002 with your source for sound, KFJC.
A live set from Steve Von Till with Joe Goldring here at KFJC, live in the pit, 89.7 FM.
This first song we're going to play is To the Field from Steve Von Till. This is my good friend and personal guitar hero, Joe Goldring. Let's get to it. Thanks a lot to all who tuned in and listened. It was a pleasure. Absolutely.
Tell us about the thought that went into it's almost a concept album in some ways, although it covers a lot of ground. A lot of it though is very personal, and it's very much a feeling of generations within your own family, and there's a lot of history in it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Well, those are things that, I spend a lot of time thinking about is connection to our ancestry and, to our immediate family and the impact that has on who we are. So many people, America's such a strange place because people come here and within 2 generations they don't remember where they come from,
Right.
And we have so many rich traditions in our short history in this country, and to trace it back, it just seems such a shame to give away that much strength and that much inspiration, So they're things we should hang on to, and as a father, I take it even more seriously and think it's more precious of a thing to keep and to honor, to pass on before those things fade away,
Absolutely, and one of the great moments on the record, of course, is the recording of your grandfather reading the service piece, towards actually at the very end of the album. How did you get a hold of that? And I guess it was on a reel-to-reel tape?
Yeah, well, I was kind of looking for one because he used to read a Robert Service or narrate a Robert Service poem to his grandchildren when we were young. I was one of 28 grandchildren. And, we all knew this poem, The Cremation of Sam McGee, which is kind of a funny poem by Robert Service. And so I was actually kind of looking for that. I wouldn't have used it because it's kind of funny, and I wouldn't have put something funny on my record. I want to keep it conceptually tight. But I thought I could loop some of the lines from it and turn it into a sound piece. And when I was looking for that, I didn't find it, but my dad had fixed up his old reel-to-reel and found a box full of tapes, and I was digging through that and found this tape of this other Robert Service poem, which was just dark and dreary and perfect. It just fit the tone of the record so well, and it was just a perfect ending piece. It was like it all meant to be, This album came together really, really well.
And Steve, tell us a little bit about, Joe Goldring standing next to you. Tell us about, the work you guys did and how you brought in some of the others to help out. I know it was primarily you, but...
Well, after the first record, Joe and I started playing together because, I mean, I've been a fan of his guitar playing for a long time. He's such an intuitive player. You know, you can feel totally confident that he's just going to be in the pocket. I mean, what we played here today, it might not have been perfect with either one of us, but we haven't played together, you know.
Yeah.
So
Gonna get it going here for the show.
you're always there, though. You're always there, like in the pocket, you know. And so this time it was cooler because instead of the first one came about just these bedroom recordings that sat around for years, and at one point I finally decided I'm going to finish this stuff and try to grab some pieces that work, have people overdub on it, and get it out.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of more hodgepodge, and this one was a little more focused. Okay, I have a solo project. I do records under my own name, and working with Joe was a little better. He helped me develop the material.
Working within a finite amount of time as well makes a big difference, just in as far as I think the fluidity of the songs and just their recording and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
So you feel like when you sit down to do the solo stuff, it's a bit more defined than that sort of the vague sort of feeling you had before, which is, yeah, I'm doing this on my own, but you know, it's not like doing a second album versus a first album, you know, kind of idea. And this one you had, you know, a lot of great ideas and a real theme and direction that you wanted everything in, and you worked within that just in a really consistent way from start to finish.
It was kind of weird, like, because we'd been playing with some other people for, like, live at the last festival, and then when we came back, a lot of these songs, well, a few of these songs were written around that time, and then when we came back to do the record, there was none of these other people around. There was no drums and strings and keyboards and stuff, and it just, you sort of redefine all the songs and kind of totally simplify them, boil them down.
Yeah, that was definitely a plus.
Yeah.
And so we based it just around the two of us doing it, you know, and then figured we'd studio. Joe played awesome drum tracks as well as the guitar stuff. Played really, you know, we did the kind of fake live trip on the recording. And Joe also, we were going to record in Joe's studio, and we set up to do it, and there was a bus parking lot behind it.
They just put a bus depot in next to my old studio. I've moved out of there now, thank God.
That's
Watered right off the bat, you know.
That's rough.
But it worked in our favor because then Joe got a hold of Desmond Shea, who did the recording, who has a really small, like a studio the size of this little DJ area here, with just really nice gear, really nice signal path, really nice microphones, small space. It allowed us to just worry about playing.
Right.
And then Desmond would do things like I'd be gone for a week, I'd come back, and there was an organ track on the song. And he's like, you know, so he contributed. Like we might have talked about it, but we didn't, you know, really say, okay, why don't you do it? And so, you know, he just got himself on the record by playing these awesome parts and playing them back for me when I'd come back. I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking, if not better. You know,
for doing, I think, this kind of stuff, he was great because he has such a calm demeanor and he's really even-tempered, and he gets into the swing of things and he keeps it moving along.
Yeah, he got the good performances out of me for sure.
Yeah.
Terrific job. So Joe, what have you been working on?
What have I been doing? Playing, I have a band called The Enablers.
Yes.
In San Francisco. That's with Kevin Thompson from Touched by a Janitor, which is our other band. Been doing that. I'm going to record a record this winter. I was just out in Chicago playing with my friend Doug Sharon from June of 44.
Yes. Playing
on a hymn record. I worked on that for a couple of weeks. That was fun. It's going to be good. Dubby sort of thing.
So an Enabler's coming out?
I don't know. Hopefully next year, you know. Let's get a record done. I'll probably put it out through Perishable in Chicago. Yeah, doing that. Going to get back to some janitor work soon when Kevin returns. He's out of town. Yeah, that's about it, really. Being dad, you know.
Yeah.
Soccer coach.
Steve, tell us a little bit about the Culper Ring project.
The Culper Ring project is Chris Force, Mason Jones, and myself. We did a jam session one day in 1996, which was just kind of putting all this noise down onto tape. Throbbing bass, kind of coil type, just swirling sounds. We put it away, forgot about it. Called each other back at 1999 and said, "Hey, do we want to work on that stuff anymore?" And so we got together, we did another jam session having nothing to do with that material, and it was these really meandering, melodic, kind of just repeating melody pieces. And then that sat for at least a year with no other mention of it. Then we got together one other time and stuck those two sessions in the computer, edited them into something that made some sort of sense from start to finish. Put that away for 6 months, 9 months, threw some vocals and strange things on top, and mixed it down and thrown it out there. It's really, it's not written music. It's just strange things that happened that all came together to make sense.
Okay.
And I think we're finally getting that thing out at the beginning on Neurot Recordings, beginning of the year.
Okay. So after Christmas for the Culper Ring project. Coming into Beyond the Pale, obviously, I know you two will be together the first night on stage. Are you going to have some other musicians with you that night?
No, we're just
the two of you?
Like this.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. Well, after hearing today's set, you don't really need much else.
Thank you.
So
We don't have time to work on anything else anyway.
Just some practice.
Definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Do have a track queued up from the new Steve Von Till album. And Steve, this is the To the Field, which I believe you opened with today when you guys started. And you mentioned how it sounded different today, of course, from the recorded version. Tell us just a little bit about this song, because it's for me, this is my favorite track on the album. So.
Okay. Well, the way musically it's different from how we played it. It's got a really lush crescendo, big guitars and drums and
Sure.
and everything. But it's hard to say. It's hard to talk about the songs because while they are personal, like you said, like I don't give it away. I keep it in my pocket. Exactly what I'm after. But it's appropriate for this season. It's very a harvesty song, metaphorically, I think, for life. And I think they're all harvest songs. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, it still had the rise and it still had the swell, even when you did it today. So it's just a great song. Steve Von Till, Joe Goldring, thanks for coming to KFJC.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to hearing you at Beyond the Pale on November 14th.
Great.
This is Steve Von Till on KFJC. 89.7 FM. Steve Von Till and To the Field from the brand new If I Should Fall to the Field release out on Neurot Recordings. Thanks again to Steve Von Till and to Joe Goldring, who came down to play for us this evening. Thanks to Grauer for the engineering. I'm Mitch LeMay in for Grauer. What is Grauer? And